Hey guys, Jingraves here. Woo. Guys, I'm scared. Scared. Oh, hey. I didn't know I could do that. That's pretty cool. Multiple streams. Shoot. Okay. Hot pod. Wish I could watch videos on here too. I feel like really like white. It's a bad joke. Don't accept it, guys. Don't accept it. Boom, 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 boom. I wonder if I can like load my stuff on there too, you know. Just giving you guys some minutes to get on here, so I don't know. I don't know when I need to start, you know. So, well, I guess I'll just rant about something else real quick then. You know, so we're not just sitting here wasting footage time or whatever. So, I got a new thing for my job. It's kind of a late thing. Feel like I should look at myself. Then I'm like, then I don't make eye contact with y'all. So then I have to look at the camera. I'm hopeless. Absolutely hopeless. You know, I've never done on the live thing before, so it's a little weird. Ta-da. That's pretty cool. Did y'all know that? You can change the chat thing on here if you want to change it from where it like does it all the time. I didn't even know that. That's pretty cool. So anyway, I guess we're gonna kind of start, you know, and then I'll kind of watch the thingy over here or whichever side it's going to be on. I'll just kind of watch it for comments that pop up or anything. I mean, because this will be technically a video that anybody can watch. So instead of horsing around for 5 minutes, sorry for that. Didn't mean to, but it kind of happened. So The first one, and I guess I'm going to put it on here on the comments as well. That way people can kind of see it. So let me type that in there. That way people are like, he's actually doing something. Hey, Jason, what's up? So, you know, the first one on my list for number 100, guys, isn't really anything too crazy. Jason, I'm going to post it over here on the, well, mine's over there. Yours might be down here somewhere on my comment. So, I'm going to post it as I go. But yeah, the first one is Kitaro. Great series. I actually just read it. It's really cool. What's up, MSKOJ? So this one's really good. It's actually older, and it's one that was actually in newspapers and stuff, I believe, for a little while. Written by one of the great people that we all get to see. I don't know if you can see it in the camera or not. Kind of looks angelic from this side. But that's my first one for number 100. It kind of got that spot because of the history of it, and just because of the story that it's kind of written as. And it's kind of weird. A lot of the ones that were in newspapers and stuff actually made it onto my list, and I don't know exactly how that is. It's a little funny. But that one's about yokai. That's one of my favorite things too. We'll see some other yokai stuff farther up on the list, maybe with a different spin on it, newer stuff. This has actually been reprinted a couple times, as far as I know, and I mean it's good. It's stuff that we've gotten from some of the other people. So then we're gonna go to the next one. Yeah, right. I mean, it's really weird. I found out some different stuff just get on here. I've never live streamed before, so I didn't know how it worked until I started messing around the first 5 minutes of this thing. So, the next one on the list is Gone. This is a really good one too, guys. I would have to say it's probably one of my favorite dinosaur ones, which is kind of funny. The other funny thing that's in this really is, if you can see it, there's actually no words in this at all. The only places that there's a couple of words that's in it is like the title that it has in there, and they have some spots in it where they'll tell you like the animals that are in it. Here, let me show you this. So there's like a type of bird and a rabbit and stuff, and then at the end of the chapter, what they give you is kind of a better illustration of them, not so much cartoony, but actually what they really look like. Which is something that I think is really cool. They do a really good illustration of it at the end, and they tell you what animals they used throughout. So it's really cool. Right? I mean, it's amazing, and it's only told by the art of it. So, whenever you read a chapter of a manga where it might be a character that doesn't talk at all, and they do the whole chapter, basically like this, the whole series of Gone is exactly like that. You just sit there and you read it, and you read it through the picture. So it's really good. I guess I haven't read Blam yet, so I hope to get to it soon. But there's so much other stuff. I ended up just recently getting the rest of Knights of Sidonia, which was a pain in the butt. But what are you gonna do? So, and some of these are rap guys, so I'm sorry about that. I can't really take them out and do anything. But this is one of my other favorite series that's coming up. It's one that I read a long time ago, and stuff. So this one is Sergeant Frog. It's really good. Basically, these frog aliens come and try to. I wonder if I tilted it back a little bit. There we go. These frog aliens come in and try to take over the world, and you find out like everybody, all different kinds of aliens are trying to take over the world. But all this different stuff happens, and they actually live with this family down here. This is probably one of my first ones that was kind of more um, raunchy in a way, because the sister was in like an ogre costume, and the mom has been in an ogre costume, swimsuits, different stuff like that, and they've made a lot of crazy different stuff with it. Like one of the guns was the ogre gun that turned you into an ogre or an oni kind of guy. Um, one of them, one of their inventions is like a suit, and the little frog guys like fit into the top of it, so their heads still stick out because they think like, oh, I look human, but the rest of them is this big human suit and stuff, and they do that to like go on missions to talk to people and stuff, and everybody's like, oh, those people are weird. There's mechs, so I mean, this one's got a lot of cool stuff in it. It is one of my favorite ones, and it took me a while to read it because it's so slow coming out. But I mean, it's good. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So this one, ooh, this one's kind of dark. I keep forgetting like some of the series, like a lot of people haven't seen yet. So this one is Limit. I actually don't have it wrapped. Who's the publisher? Gone. Gone's publisher is Kadasha Comics, by Masashi Tanaka. If I can get it angled right. There you go. Hopefully. But yeah, it's Kadasha Comics. So Limit. This one is super crazy, guys. And if you look at it compared to like other size manga, it's a lot smaller. I mean, all the way, it's a lot smaller. And this one basically, there's these kids that are going on a school trip, and the old man has a heart attack that's driving the bus. Right. Why we shouldn't have old people driving buses, especially in the mountains. He has a heart attack though, and the bus falls off and rolls down a cliff, and they end up getting stuck on like this ledge that is enough to have a forest and like a little pond and stuff on it, and it's pretty big because I mean you can actually go and hide in it. Nothing too crazy, but then they actually like take everything that goes into it. There's a girl that goes around and actually tries to like kill people because she thinks like the social limit is done, and that nobody has to worry about it. Um, and I mean, she thinks like nobody has to worry about it. And she has a sickle and kunai, which who carries that in their backpack, really? Um, but she ends up like killing one person and doesn't know what to do with it. But this is a super good series. It's actually on my favorite shelf. If you've seen my review on Limit, but it's fantastic. I would have to say that. Um, Here, let me open some of it up. I mean, and the stuff gets really dark too, and it kind of tells you a little bit about like how I guess like bullying is wrong in school, because you never know when you bully somebody that it could come back to like haunt you. They try and ration off their food and stuff right there, so they don't know how long it's going to be for people to come find them. They actually think that they're not going to get found, so a lot of different stuff. They try and create weapons. I guess it's kind of like borderline battle royale, or if you haven't seen or heard of that, then it's kind of like the Hunger Games. But I mean, it's great. That's one of the first more. It's not horror really, but it for me, I felt like it was that way. So the next one, let me put this one on there real quick, and then we'll review it. So this one is Oshinimbo. This was another one I reviewed later on. This is the first one for it. But this one was actually in magazines and stuff in Japan for a while. This is about cooking, and they actually broke it down with different chapters. Like this one is Japanese cuisine. They also have like a life of rice, vegetables, different stuff, and they took it and cut it up into different stuff um, where they put it together. So you'll actually see like the first chapter in this, and then maybe like chapter 4 and chapter 7 and chapter 13, and it'll go all the way of what they consider to be Japanese cuisine, and it all kind of builds up. But it is a cooking one. It's really good. I like cooking ones too. And this one, like I said, was in newspapers in Japan and stuff. Back in 2014 when they had the big tsunami and it actually ruined the power plant, and flooded it and ruined a bunch of the rice and stuff. That's actually when this one stopped. The writer of it and author and stuff basically was like, well, now basically part of Japanese food is radiated, and I can't write anymore right now, and I'll give it a break and stuff. So he actually hasn't come back to this yet, even though I really wish he would. But I mean, it is a great, fantastic manga. I would pick it up if you like cooking or anything like that. Learn a little bit about the culture. This also has something really good in it that I never thought about. Um, there's right. Um, there's a part where they actually get into like the nitty gritty of it. Like on the rice one, they have a where they talk about where you want to eat white rice over brown rice, and it's because of all the pesticides and herbicides and stuff on it. But if you have regular brown rice that doesn't have pesticides and herbicides or anything, it's actually a lot better for you than white rice because you're taking all the protein and stuff out of it, even though with the pesticides and herbicides, it makes it taste like crap. So, and then another thing in this one is they have a guy that makes sushi, and they tell him basically like, if you're making me sushi or whatever, I'm not gonna let you work here, because it's like the main guy's dad, which is kind of his enemy through the whole thing. His dad is basically like, no, you can't work here, da, da, da. And the other guy came in and was trying to like test him on it and help him understand why he didn't get accepted for that sushi position. And he asked him about it, and he said, why didn't I get the job? He said, well, where did you just go when you were getting all jittery? He said, well, I walked out and I went and I smoked. And he said, that's why, because when you smoke and stuff, it stays in your fingers. And whenever you make food, I guess as a sushi chef, it comes out in your food. So it makes fish and whatever else you touch really bad. So I kind of thought about that when I worked in a restaurant back in the day. After reading this, I was like, whoa, that's weird. So fried rice is yummy, man. I love it. Okay, this one is a newer one. Let me type it up, and then we'll get to that one. I feel like looking over here at the numbers, I might type them backwards at some point, and we might be going up to 100, and then I'd be like, guys, I don't know how I ruined my list. All I have to do is go down. Woo. So this is my number 95, How to Treat Magical Beast. Will I be posting this video? Oh, yeah. That was kind of the idea behind it, is that I'll be posting this video because it's a lot easier to go from posting something that's already recording on YouTube. So that was kind of the whole idea behind it. So How to Treat Magical Beast. This one's great, guys. It's kind of like a teacher, and his student has like magical powers and stuff and can see people and make like elixirs and tonics and stuff. And she doesn't know that her boss, who is a veterinarian, can see magical creatures too and stuff and know. And so they kind of go trying to figure out um, how to heal them and different stuff. This one is really good. I like it. I've done a review on it too. That's kind of how it made it onto the list because there's only one volume out right now, so this is it. But it is a great volume. Especially all the stuff they do in it. Let me see if I can find you a picture of like one of the creatures or something. There's kind of a double spread right there. This is supposed to be a salamander. Supposedly, when they're sick and stuff and they eat the wrong things, the flames on their back, instead of becoming this soft, fluffy fur, ends up becoming like hard crystals on their back. That's how you know that they get sick. I'm going to spoil something kind of for the beginning of the first or of book 2. They are talking about a Kelpie. So that's pretty cool. Kelpie is one of those really cool, like Irish creatures and stuff. But yeah, that's it for that one. It's pretty cool. Say the publishers. Yeah, we'll go over that. So out of what I have right now, Kitaro is Drawn and Quarterly. Gone is Kadasha Comics, which we already went over that one. Sergeant Frog is Tokyo Pop, but it's old Tokyo Pop, so you would actually have to find this somewhere else besides getting it from Tokyo Pop or anything. Limit is Vertical, if I can get it close enough. It's one of Vertical's really old series that they had printed. It's just a little line. It has Vertical written on the top of it. But, yeah. Then Oshinimbo is Viz. It's still got the... I was like, I don't know if I can do this. Let me see if I can cover up part of the light from the computer. So, and then How to Treat Magical Beast is 7 Seas. So, good series, though. Good series. So, my next series, I just wanted to be up to date so that we could see them when I was talking about them. Let's see. So, on to my next one. We're on 94. This is actually one I was kind of shocked that it made it into my list. But it's great. This one is Clay Lord, another 7 Seas. I'll just show the whole book. Hey, Clay Lord, and it's the Master of Golems. This is a really good series. It's only 3 books long. And it's really good. It starts out basically there's a boy and he's part of this family, but he doesn't know why he's part of the family. And come to find out that basically his whole world, people that take care of him stuff are actually golems. And he finds out that his parents basically worked on this thing to make golems that were more human. Until that point, golems were like this, like traditional ones, big, hulky, made out of earth or metal or something like that. The traditional golem that we would see in like D&D or, dungeon crawler games, different stuff like that. But this is a really good one. We have like a maid. She doesn't really do too much. And then we have both of the guys that are in it. Come to find out, they have actually been mimicked off of his brothers, and they both made each other. And they basically sat there and they were just his butlers, but then he finds the designs for them later and they're his brothers. They were going to make these really cool, awesome ones that I think look like Pegasus and a dragon, and somebody else finds those blueprints, and that's kind of like one of the big, like, last kind of battles. Um, but then you find out that the brothers actually put like a failsafe in all their stuff, and when they were basically getting ready to die, because you use your blood to create the golems. Um, it's fine, Jason. I'm ready to take a nap too, to tell you the truth. But so anyway, this one is just spectacular. His brothers put a failsafe. You use your blood to kind of create golems when you do it. That's where your magical stuff is, and they make it really cool. There's like a design that's on them that has a shield, and it says like ether or something on it. See if I can find it on here anywhere. I don't see it, but they have this word that's carved onto them, like Aether or something. And if you cut out the A, it's Ether, and Ether basically means like destroy. And so whenever the A gets carved out, it basically means that you've awakened the failsafe for them to basically be dismantled and die, kind of. So it's a really good one. The next one we have, which I've seen a lot of people start reading this one, which is pretty good. Not everybody ends up getting into it. This one is also three volumes. This is Prophecy, and it's kind of these guys. They dress up and kind of commit crimes with brown bags on their face and these kind of app T-shirts, and they're all different people. They've all been screwed over somehow in life, and they end up basically wanting to get back at life and everything. Well, the main guy ends up getting them all in one place, and they're going to commit suicide and stuff. And he ends up saving them and telling everybody that it was basically his fault, and so it makes everybody else kind of go lighter on them, lighter on their sentence. So they still go to jail because they're accomplices, but they're not like, they're not dead or anything else like that. Like, he saved them in the long run for them just to have a few to 5 years in prison, not too much, so they could get their lives back on. So he also kind of got information for them to continue their life, which is really good. Okay. This is number 92. And this one's called Junk. All the books are kind of turned sideways for the cover. Junk, Record of the Last Hero. These are all very good. I enjoyed this series. It's like 7 volumes long, but basically the premise of this kind of reminds me of like Ultraman and some other stuff, like a magical girl kind of thing aspect too. Basically, you get this thing in the mail, and it has to be recharged and everything every couple days. But it's like a little like pack that you put on your chest. Right? They put this little pack on their chest, and they become kind of like a Kamen Rider looking kind of guy. I mean, this is kind of what one of them looks like. They all kind of have different looking suits, but they all have like some kind of job that they want to get done, and they put on their junk suits, and basically they get to live the way they want to. And they kind of have people that come to kind of help tell them what to do, and what exactly they need to do to kind of be heroes, and it's kind of up to them what they want to do. But it's good. The only weird thing is in this is the guy that is actually this one. He's the I think he's the blue junk. He might be the black. They both look, this color almost looks exactly the same. But he basically decides that he's just going to do whatever he wants. He's going to kind of pick a fight with different people. There's one guy that gets it, that just goes full crazy and killing people and all this other stuff. Yeah, that's what their suits are called. They're called junks. So they all think about like Ultraman or Kamen Rider or something like that, and mix it with Power Rangers. Everybody's kind of got this suit for some special reason, and they're supposed to make the world better in some way, and it's up to their depiction of what that means. And they all kind of have like a little guy or a bodyguard or something that's kind of like their person in the background that tells them what to do and all that. Whenever they're talking about them, they actually see them on the news, and there's like a blue junk, a black junk, a red junk, a white junk. I think there's a green one. So I mean, it's kind of set up where they're almost Power Rangers, but they don't work together. So pretty cool stuff. All right. Right. All those have been wrapped, so I hadn't been able to show you anything. We're on 91. You can stay tuned for tomorrow for the rest, for the next 20, you know. So I'll probably do one Friday too, you know, for all of them. So the next one, it's really good. Also 3 volumes. So we're getting through a lot of my 3-volume ones. This one is Couple. I believe I've done a review on this one. I'm not too sure. Maybe. But with this one, basically, you have this guy that is moving out. He's trying to do college and everything and lives by himself. And this girl, he kind of helps. He's like, you know, can I help you to all this other stuff? And she ends up not being able to find a place to stay. And so she moves in with him, and he kind of partitions off his room. There's some stuff. You can kind of tell what that is a little bit. You know, he likes boobs. That's one thing that he kind of talks about. You know, and they kind of just hang out and everything. And as they keep going in their relationship, they end up falling in love and wanting to become a couple and living in the same situation and all this other stuff. But he's got friends that are like, this means that she wants to sleep with you, or this means that she wants to be with you. I guess it's a josei. I'm not. I mean, it's not. I would say it's more of a like in between, like a shoujo and a josei. I mean, they mention stuff. Like that one little thing was a condom that I kind of showed you. They mention some stuff like that, but they don't like really get into anything too like, you know, I guess it would be like a more of a coming of age kind of one. So, but it's really good. This is one that I actually like a lot. One of their roommates, well, not a roommate, but a person that lives down the hall, because it's kind of set up like a Hey Arnold house, you know, where there's a bunch of people that live in different rooms. There's a guy that lives down the hall that actually has, hey Shifty, what's up? There's a guy that actually has like a bunch of like weird costumes and stuff, like a bunny costume and demon girl costumes. I mean, just a bunch of weird stuff. Sure, we'll call it a JoJo. You know, but they do that, and she comes in wearing like different outfits sometimes that are kind of weird. So it all just kind of depends on how it is with this one. But I mean, it's a really good one. You I would say that this is probably a better relationship one than a lot of them. So I'm doing good. We're going through the review and stuff. So we're about to get done with our first 10. And, just trying to get through those. Um, these ones are really good. As far as like more, I guess they're not all basically older manga, but they're all ones that I feel like I've read before in a way. But they're really good. I enjoy them. So, um, and like I said before on one of my other videos, I kind of did it where I would put it on there and I'd have couple, and then I'd say, where is junk compared to couple? Well, junk's less important to me than couple, so I put it underneath there. Where is this one? This one was above it, so that's kind of how I made my order and my list go through. So the top ones are a lot better. In that aspect, it was something that I was like, I like this one so much. It was like it beats this one, it beats this one, it beats this one, it beats this one, all the way until I was like, it's not as good as this one. Oh man. It's actually, I had the video when I did the Hey Bazaar, what's up? Astro Lost in Space. I have all the way up to the 3rd volume. I know the 4th one's coming out here in a little while, but I am keeping I didn't get to that one just yet. So I'm kind of keeping that one until I get done with some of my up to date ones that I'm trying to read, but just kind of waiting on that because I have that one and I have I'm actually looking at it right now. It's on the other side of the table staring at me. I also have Isolator. So those are the two I'm kind of planning on reading together, so I can get through those and continue on, because there'll be more of the supernatural sci-fi. Maybe I can get my Captain Harlocks at the same point and read those ones too. I mean, I like a lot of fantasy, but I don't understand why people have to be that way. You either are like a fantasy person where you like monsters and stuff and medieval, or you're on the other thing where it's Star Trek and Star Wars and all that. I was kind of like, why can't I be in the middle? You know, why can't you pick a side? I like them both. So why would I want to sit there and actually worry about what I was picking? Right? I mean, why can't we have more people that like both? Gosh. All right. So 90 on our list, guys. I had to make sure I didn't type 99. I feel like I'm a drunk texter, even though, I don't even do that stuff during the week. All right. So number 90 is Wolfsman. This is a great one. It's more of a history based one. This one goes off of basically like where England was trying to succeed, kind of away from the British and stuff. So it's a really crazy one. If you like Berserk, you'll love this one. Wolfsman is actually created by one of the assistants that the guy that wrote Berserk had, and she actually left him and said, "I'm gonna write my own." She's done a couple of other ones, but they're all in Japanese, and this was the first one of hers that actually got printed in English. But with some of the stuff in here, I mean, you can totally tell that she was a part of stuff with him. I'm trying to find like a gruesome scene for y'all that they kind of put in here. I mean, they do some strange stuff. I feel like most of the ones I'm asking OJ that you say that you've heard of. I feel like I'm the person that told you about all of them. So here, this last one is kind of good. This is somebody that got beat up down here in the bottom. So I mean, you can kind of see that she's got a little bit of the Berserk-esque like feel to it, but she doesn't go headlong into it. So that's what I really like. Um, you know, and Wolf's Ram is the big villain that's in this, and I would have loved to see it go on with him, but at some point they kill him off, which I hate that. He was like one of the best villains in a manga that I would say, because he would actually sit there and we're just going to say that he heard it from me, and then so we'll just make a train. um, I don't know, but I mean, he is probably one of the most awesome villains ever. He's like, oh, you're going to sit there and you're going to do all this stuff, and I'm going to let you basically fall into my trap. One of the people are like, I'm just like a mother and daughter trying to cross the thing and da 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 and get to the other side. And he's like, okay, well, I'll let you get there. And she does something. And he's like, um, you know, what's this jingling I hear? And he like planted coins on her or something to make it seem like she stole them. I mean, everybody that goes through there at some point has had to deal with him until a whole army comes. And basically, he's the last guy left until all these people basically get him. He's one of like the ultimate bad guys that I have to say I like in manga. Um, and then he leaves, and then this kind of wussy prince guy comes back and to impress his brother, he makes all these stupid moves and ends up dying. So, they ended up winning the whole battle. The English did from the British or whatever. But I mean, it's kind of a pain in the butt. Our car under the bridge. I have volume 3. I haven't gotten to start it yet. I have 2 shelves and like a side table dedicated to stuff I need to read, and so none of these are ones that I've read yet. So I wish I could, and then maybe my list will be a little bit different. Now these ones might be different; they're subject to change. I would totally agree with that. But everything that's on the top, I don't think so. There's probably nothing that's going to shake those very much. Maybe my top 10 probably won't move anywhere, but the other ones do have a chance that they could. Um, so the next one on here, guys, I forgot what number I was at. We've already like moved part of the thing. Let's see. Right. All right. This one is a 3-part series, 2 or a 3-volume series, but they're so thick. I'm gonna ask you, Jay. I totally forgot that I was supposed to tell you where these came from. Crap. Let's see. Clay Lord with 7 C's. I know I said that one. Vertical is Prophecy. Junk is Dr. Master. I don't think I have very many of those ones. Couple is CPM Mawas, however you say it. And Wolfram is Vertical. So Tohio game is Yin Press. So this one, guys, is great. It's wrapped, so I can't show you pictures or anything from it. But I guess it's kind of like I've seen the anime, but I haven't read the manga. Danganronpa, I think I'm saying that right. Where the school basically has to go and figure out people that are basically like the short end of the rope or lying to them or whatever. This one you get like text messages, kind of like Real Account 2. That's another one that I'm reading, waiting for the last one to come out, which comes out like at the end of the year. So at some point we'll get it. Um, but this one, they have a classroom and you get text messages, and basically it starts out as like a poll. Like if it's us that are on here right now, it would be like Bizarre and Shifty and Amaski OJ, and we would all vote like who's the best, da 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 da, and or who's the least, whatever. And whoever was on the bottom would basically like wind up dying in some horrible accident. And it kind of goes from there. There's a bunch of different stuff, like a girl to save herself basically has to sleep with a guy. I'd win. Oh, thanks. Um, so like you have to sleep. The girls have to sleep with a guy to not die, and because of different stuff, they make that decision. A guy has to somehow get like 10,000 yen, which is, I guess, like $100, which, I mean, how high schoolers get that or whatever, and they have to figure out like how to do that. Some of them end up like killing each other. A bunch of different stuff. One person ended up swapping cell phones by accident and sending a vote the wrong way, and it killed them, which was just weird. Um, that's horrible. Um, but that's what this one is. And then it's really weird at the end because you find out that there was one that happened before the actual series starts. It's kind of like the preface in the first chapter for it. Then the very last one, it kind of gets continued and carried on by one of the girls gets pregnant, and so it kind of moves forward from there. And it's like after that, it's like a chainmail letter. It just keeps going and going and going, and it's kind of like the fates have it out for people, and this is how they want to play it. So that one's really good though. It was one that I would probably say is one of my more favorite ones, but obviously there's a lot of stuff on the list above it that I couldn't get around giving up for that. You ready, guys? 3, 2, 1. Ha! That's horrible. So this one is Seven Seas as well down there. This is Hour of the Zombie. This one ended up making my list basically because of the craziness that's in it. You go like 3 hours as a zombie and then you turn back human, and then 3 hours later you turn back into a zombie, and it's kind of got this whole like list of stuff that's horrible. Um, as far as it goes, um, the president kind of set up like this whole thing for like the samurai guys and the archers and stuff to kill part of them, and they were going to light the gym on fire, and it ended up not happening. And so now there's kind of this whole big like craziness. They haven't even left the school yet, and I think they're on like volume 6. Um, but I mean, it's crazy. I really like this series though. There's a lot of different things in it. Ew. But they oh yeah, this one's been coming out for probably about a year. But I mean, this is, what are we in? July? July, June, May, April, March. So I mean, I've only been on YouTube for 5 months. Well, 4.5. So, I'm getting there. Gosh. I like we talked about before, that's why I totally think that there's nothing to really worry about as long as I get about 50 people a month. you know, by that time, at the end of the year, I'll have a lot of people, and I think Insidious Swede's been on here for maybe like 4 or 5 years. So I mean, I'll build up that in time. I mean, especially when we get to the 4,000 mark, and I'm almost there. I think I'm about 50 away. So, and then we'll just kind of keep going until I can get to 5,000. You know, crazy stuff. So, but yeah. Anyway, this one's really good. I would highly recommend this one for people that love zombies. I think it's better than High School of the Dead, unless you like fan service. You know, there are a couple other zombie ones that you can read. I think there's another one that's higher up on my list. Um, that's one that people don't really know about too much, because I've only seen one other person have it. So, and it's not one that I've talked with about to anybody. So, um, good one though. So this one, Bizarre. You still there? You ready? think I think Amatsuko J, we killed him because he was last. Come back, Bizarre, come back. This one already wrapped. I wish I could show it to you. This is one actually that Bizarre got in his giveaway. This is Walk Walk. Basically, you have something that's in like your blood, or whatever, that makes you a good person for almost like a symbiote. That's kind of what this thing is behind him. So a little bit like like Venom, with Spider-Man, and they get in there and you kind of get powers off of them. There's like a fire one and a water one and an air one and an electricity one and an earth one. And I mean, this one's only 4 volumes long, but they all kind of do that and move forward. So it is a really cool series, one that I love. And it's really cool, really fun. And it's all kind of um, he's supposed to go on like a quest kind of thing, and it's not really that crazy. He's kind of got to pick up all these different ones and kind of do all that stuff. I don't even know if Shifty's still here. Maybe we killed him off first. So, but this is a really good one. They can kind of change just some of the art on the back. But it is a small series. It's a good one though, so it made my list. Like I said, when I picked out all the giveaways for the Bizarre Readathon that I gave away, all of them were my favorite at some way or another. And if they're not on my top 100, they're pretty close. So, this is one I actually just got finished with today. Not this volume, but the most recent one of it that came out. Woo. Make sure I spelled that all right. So this one is To the Abandoned Sacred Beast. This one is really cool. I always think of America when this one, because there was a fight between the North and the South. What does that sound like? You know, um, you have this one. That's cool. Uh, are you up to date on it? But anyway, this one, all the people that were in this brigade basically took on different mythological creatures aspects. Oh yeah, so you've read 6? Man, it was great. Just saying. I'm upset that they've only had like one new incarnate in every like volume that's come out since like 4. So 5 and 6. Oh, I'm so upset. We need some other ones besides Hank and Kane that we see repeatedly, or the spider person. I mean, And we haven't even seen her fight again yet. Crap. Um, right. As you keep going, I mean, it's great. But yeah, this one's got like all of them have turned into like mythological creatures and stuff, or creatures of legend to defend their hometowns and stuff. Um, this one's like a minotaur. Our main guy's kind of like a werewolf, which I mean, you already know that. Um, there's a behemoth, and see if I can find one more real quick. We'll go with the very first guy, I guess. Um, he was kind of like an ogre, and then he kind of turned into like Rhino from Spider-Man. So I'm not 100% sure what he was supposed to be anymore. Spriggan? I'm not sure what that is. Um, I thought a Spriggan was like a tree person, but I guess not. So moving on. I got to be sneaky about this one. So I'm going to like flip it up real fast when I click the enter button. So Siren, Maskio J, you want to say anything about this? I mean, this is one of them that you got. So, oh boy, I love it. Yeah. um, this is a good one. You know, starting out, you think that it's all kind of that way, and then you actually get into it where the people are in the future. That's where they kind of go to fight all that. Um, sorry if I spoiled anything. Sorry. Um, but so I really think that the people writing this one, they didn't know where to go with it, you know, because the first 5 volumes don't seem like anything like that, and then you find out later on that it is, and it's kind of like, what? That's really the only reason why this one's not higher up on my list, was kind of that shock. And I mean, a couple other things, not really a lot. Oh, you've already finished it? Oh goodness. Oh, volume 1, yeah. Um, so well, when you get up to about volume 5 is still kind of in this kind of storytelling mode, but it gets a lot higher than that as you keep going on, you know, up closer. Um, my favorite guy in this, you know, besides the main character, is I can't remember this guy right here. I can't. That's the main character. This one right here. There you go. You know, all his stuff is like dragon based, which is cool. And later on, he actually kind of gets more of those abilities, which are really cool. I like that. Oh, yeah, right. Um, but I mean, you know, and it gets to, they all have that little orb thingy that's kind of in them that they kind of survive off of. So that's a little weird, but you know, it's not too much that you can say that goes along with it. So I wish there was a little more to this one. Like I said, that would push it higher up on my series list, but you know, it's, I mean, it's in my top 100. So out of the 500 plus series that I have, I mean, being on the top 100 is a great thing for it to be. So this one's Shonen Jump. Um, Vertical was that one. And this one, just 1 second too. If you see who makes it, maybe. Um, there's one person I can see on there, but I don't know who it is. Maybe also does one that's on my like in my top 20, I think. Um, which I mean, you may already know that one. You'll see it later on though. Um, you know, and then Viz is Walk Walk too. So, whew. Oh goodness, this next one's huge. Yeah, I don't know who that is. I wonder if I touch this thing up here, if it'll tell me. I don't know. So this one, crap. It's fine. You keep me entertained, bud. Um, this is Lone Wolf and Cub. Really good one. It is an older series too, but it's more of a samurai, which is some of the stuff that I like a lot. Okay, I gotta tell you a funny thing about this, and I don't know if you'll know who it is, but they're not they're on YouTube, but they're not on YouTube very much anymore, and I really hate because they've let me down like so hard. Um, but they're like an older YouTuber that doesn't really like do very much content because they last thing I saw from them, they felt like YouTube was like the Illuminati. So I mean, you know, why worry about that? Um, so if you've ever heard of Code Provider, Code Provider was the person that I had already gotten this series, and he made me crack up so much. I'll tell you why it's hard to get. This one is hard to get because you either buy the old one, which is hard to find, or you buy the new one that's that big and it can almost run you 25 bucks unless you get it on like Right Stuff and all that. But it's by Dark Horse, so I mean, why would you think any different? Yeah. Code, yeah. I didn't know his name was Cody, but yeah, Code Provider. Um, but me and my brother watched one of his videos. Rewatched one scene in his one of his videos so many times. He was like, "We got a lone wolf and cub," and he had a statue of Tao Pai Pai from Dragon Ball, and he sounded nasally when he did it, and so I told my brother, I was like, "Gotta have that statue of Tao Pai Pai," and that's exactly how he sounded. You know, I didn't think anything of it, but that used to be mine and my brother's like thing the whole time. Town pie pie. So, um, maybe Kazuo Koichi, and Goseki Kojima. Um, I mean, if it's not written by them, it's kind of in the same thing as them. But there's actually another one I found out with this. You have Lone Wolf by itself. You have Lone Wolf and Cub, which is this volume. You have New Lone Wolf and Cub, which is where the baby is actually older, and he actually takes part in trying to be an assassin. And then you have which I have the other one that I'm thinking of, which is Lone Wolf and Cub, um, 2100, and that one's all like futuristic cybernetic. It's really weird, and they try and make it that way and continue on with the story. And some of it makes sense and some of it doesn't. So, but this is a really good one. But yeah, that's why it's because it's so thick. I have up to like volume 12, and I'm still waiting for some of the other ones to come out because this one comes out slow because of how thick they are. But it's honestly, I would say that you would want to get this one, but you would want to find a cheaper way of getting it. Um, you know, because I still haven't gotten Blade of the Immortal, but it's on my list to get. So I do like samurai ones. That's why Vagabond's on my favorites list. Oh, sounding nasally was his thing. I have no idea. No idea. But, you know, as far as I know, he kind of went a little crazy, and I really wish that he had like sold some of his manga to me. Especially when Banana Fish, like I had just heard about it, and he was talking about it, and he was like, "Manga's stupid. I'm getting out of it." You know, and I was so upset to hear that. You know, but I was like, my collection's already so big, you know, but I wasn't planning on being a YouTuber or anything. I was like, I just won't worry about it. Yeah, he does them still now, but it's kind of weird. So this next one is a new one, but I still need to read volume 2 for it. So, like I said, a lot of things are subject to change after volume 2 and some other stuff. Right. I mean, you know why the reason he's weird now, right? The reason why he's weird is because of what I said earlier. Like he thinks that YouTube's the Illuminati, yet he still posts on YouTube sometimes. He thinks like people in Japan are out to get him. I mean, like there's a bunch of different stuff that's just weird. You know, and I hate that. You know, I wish there was something else or whatever. But I mean, you can't help somebody that is basically going off the deep end. You know, if I was going off the deep end, I mean, I would just say, hey, like, help me. That's what I would say. Amaskio J, will you come help me put all my manga in alphabetical order and then just push the shelf over on top of me? You know, that's how I kind of want to go. I don't even want to worry about it. So, um, but here's the next one. Sorry for my familiar. Um, this is a really good series. This one is by Seven Seas. And this one is basically a guy goes into the world of demons, and he's trying to do all that stuff. And he actually got this little girl to let him be her familiar, so that he could go in and study all the different demons and stuff, or creatures that are kind of in the underworld. And he's trying to help her on her journey. So I mean, it's pretty weird. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. I really love this one, and just how happy go lucky he is. And he's kind of like, I'm an adult. You have to listen to me, to these little demonic children and stuff. And I'm like, should you really be saying that to him? Yeah. But I mean, he's really cool. And, you know, he wants to know everything about everybody. So that's why I like this one a lot. Um, I can open this one and show you it. Um, Let's see. This is like a tournament part. So they took like a picture of all the guys together. It's pretty cool. They're trying to have like a dog contest, you know, where it was like, you know, what's going on? Da, 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 you know, who's the best? Who looks the prettiest? Powers? Da, 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 who's most interesting? So, a lot of different stuff that happened from that. So, 82. 82 is our next one. So, I had somebody calling me. 82. And this one's one I'm actually reading book 2 of right now because I just got it. So, um, this one is Giant Spider and Me, a really fun one. This one has aspects of like, well, it has a giant spider in it. um, but it has aspects of Delicious and Dungeon in it. Has aspects of like Sweetness and Lightning, because the girl in this cooks, and then she like goes back and tells you about it, you know, while she's doing it, and it's kind of in a little bit of an apocalyptic place. I would hope you've heard a bunch of these from me. but we won't go there. um, so, but she tries to like feed it and everything. I mean, it's a really good, cute little book. The one right now, at the end of this one, somebody's holding a gun to it, and she jumps out and she's like, "No, don't kill him!" And you just find out like different stuff about it. Like they don't know what's going on with it. They don't know how a spider got that big, but she knows that it's all right because it's been living with her for a little while. Took a little bit of time, so you know, it is a really good one though. This is one that's on my favorite shelf too. So I got some new ones to add on there. I actually probably need to go look at my favorite shelf and either expand it to a second shelf or take some off of it. So I don't know what I'm going to do though. I am kind of getting down on some other stuff, but I don't know. And I think this next one is one that we've talked about, maybe. Not sure. Let me know if we have, because I think we have, but I can't remember. So, oh yeah, Seven Seas was that one. So the last one for this 10 to 81 is World Trigger, and this one is basically on people that have this ability to use these tools and stuff because they have some kind of like thing. No, I wish. Um, so they have this, and they're trying to figure out, how to defeat these other creatures that are coming from other planets. Right now, the series is really good because they're trying to get a trip back into the other world, into the void, kind of, and using their tools and stuff. And I really like the tournament part of this one so far, where they're trying to hit A rank and learning how to use all their different abilities. Um, it reminds me a lot of. I'm going to say this, and you're going to be like nerd. It reminds me a lot of D&D. Um, right, right. I agree. Um, they but the tournament for them trying to get A, I mean, it's spectacular. I love it. So I do. I really want them to continue this one. Show some pages for anybody that watches this video later on, though. You know, so but anyway, thanks for sticking with me almost, well, basically the whole time, Masco J. But anybody else that wants to watch this video, sure, go ahead and comment on it down below, and I will catch you guys later. But I guess that's going to be it. Night. Bye, Masco J.